Today's Heritage Highlight brings us to Historic Mayowood here in Rochester. I am joined by Chuck Potter, Manager of Historic Properties. Thanks for joining us, Chuck.
Certainly, glad to be here.
And we are here to chat about Fall Fest, which is occurring this coming Saturday, returning after, 6 years or so, right, Chuck?
Correct, yep.
But first, let's give people a very brief overview about Mayowood. What is it? Who lived here? What should we know?
Okay, great. Well, Maywood was Dr. Charlie and Edith's home. They started building it in 1910, moved in 1911, 25,000 square feet, and 3 generations of the family lived here. It was very much of a family house, completely different than the foundation house.
And I understand it also included, you said, multiple working farms?
Multiple working farms, and Dr. Charlie amassed over 3,300 acres.
Wow.
And so he largely owned the area all the way around it. So stone barn, lots of other farms, greenhouses, all kinds of things.
And you mentioned he cared so much about these animals that some of them he took in when necessary.
And they had a lot of, they had a chimp, and they had all kinds of animals on the property. There were white buffalo, there were deer, there were all sorts of things.
Wow.
But the children like to ride the horses, of course, and like to, so they decided one time that the horses should come in to see the house. So they brought the horses into the house and rode them around the first floor, and then decided that they probably shouldn't take them upstairs because they didn't know if they'd come back down.
Right. Very cozy up there.
Yep.
Chuck, you mentioned this all started with a special tree right outside.
Right outside the window, there's a big white oak tree, and underneath of that oak tree, the family was having a picnic, and they decided this was going to be where they built the big house. And so Dr. Charlie got out strings and twine and stakes, and they plotted it all out. And he hired farm laborers to come and build the home for him. And it's very much referred to as Dr. Charlie style.
Wow.
So no architects involved.
Interesting, very interesting.
Yep.
Now we are here decades later, and this beautiful site will be home to Fall Fest this Saturday, coming back after 6 years. I think the last time it was held was 2017, I believe?
That's correct, yep.
Tell us, what should people expect here this Saturday?
People should expect to come out and, of course, have a tour of the home. And the tour will include the ballroom, which has just recently finished being renovated. There will also be a lot of activities going on. The peregrines will be here. The grounds are beautifully planted for fall. There's a number of children's activities with chalk, sidewalk chalk, and face painting and rock painting. And then for a little fun, we've got a bunch of operation games for them to play with. And then we have the large cutout of, which is about life size, of Boris, that they can play with as well. So this should all be a great time.
Very nice. So lots
yep.
of fun for young and the young at heart.
Yep.
Chuck, you just mentioned the ballroom, which was just recently remodeled.
Yep.
Would you show us that?
Sure, I'd be glad to.
All right, let's go.
Okay. So Axel, we're in the grand staircase of the home. And this piece was just finished this winter and just opened up. It opens up a stairway all the way from the first floor to the 4th floor of the home with beautiful views out of the top of the 4th floor. And then in the railings here, we didn't really know whether they were wooden originally or if they were metal or what they were made out of, but there was a railing in the house that had these big M's in it, so we just chose to copy that.
Very well. And as we approach the ballroom now, Chuck, you pointed out that this is actually the original flooring.
Yes, it is. It's bird's eye maple, and when we started working on this project, we took the whole floor out and saved it in the warehouse, and then brought it back this winter now, and past winter, and installed it again, and the laborers that installed it said this was one of the most beautiful floors that they had ever seen. So it's really a wonderful thing to have.
Fascinating, fascinating. So now we're looking at the entire space, the ballroom. What sort of functions did the Mayos use this for back in the days?
The Mayos used it, so the Mayos had hired a lot of farm laborers who were musical. And so they used the musicians, or hired the musicians on the weekend to play music for them for their parties and things. But they also did theater out here. They had lots of plays, and all the family was involved in all of those things as well. So
wonderful. And now you're getting the space ready for Fall Fest here on Saturday.
We are.
With decorated tables and whatnot?
Yes, it'll all be all set for October 5th for the event.
Very good. And we can't help but notice you have some beautiful exhibits in these display cases on either side.
And these cabinets were put in because the roof lines of the room were so interesting to work with. They're very short and go down very quickly. And so we built these cabinets in. What's being displayed in them right now are gifts from benefactors. And so a number, of course, we all know how wonderful benefactors are to Mayo Clinic and how kind they are to all of us. And so these are items from their collections that they have shared with us.
Wonderful, wonderful work, Chuck, and your team. It begs the question, Chuck, you've done this job for so many years at Mayo Clinic. What do you enjoy about managing a property such as this and many of the other ones?
I think there's so many components of this that go all the way back through my life, my degree in horticulture and business certainly, so I love the landscaping and the flower part of it. I have really enjoyed the decorating piece. This room doesn't look at all like what it looked like when the Mayos lived here, but certainly the Mayo family is thrilled with it, and they have all seen it and are very, very happy with it. So those are the rewards of the job and what I've really enjoyed doing, and the people, of course.
Sounds like you're coming full circle here.
I am.
Excellent,
Yep.
Chuck.
Thank you.
Well, you got a few very busy days left to
do.
prepare for Fall Fest. We thank you so much for taking the time.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll see you Saturday.
Sounds great. Thank you.
All right, thanks for watching.
Yep.